Yeah.
Or not a lot of words, but like it's a lot when you say it out loud.
It sounds so complicated. So let's pivot into some other things that most people aren't thinking about, because there's obvious little things that you need to do that when you start your business, whether it's trademarking or getting insurance, and obviously getting your product. But what unexpected hurdles have you run into with your business?
I think a lot of businesses don't want to waste money. I think everyone's just like, they don't want to do that, but honestly, you are going to make mistakes. Like I think even just like my candles, I had to test out different wax. I had to test out different wicks. I had to test out different labels. I mean, you are gonna make a lot of mistakes during like the first couple of times, but just notate all those mistakes. Do not make the same mistakes again, because at that point you're just wasting money away. You can make you can leave a couple room for like errors and mistakes, but keep track of it. But I think the biggest hurdles that I faced is the legal side of it all, because you really have to be careful. You have to have like everything in writing, especially when you're dealing with people's credit cards information. Again, do not go through a third party, go through like an actual bank that's gonna have everything secured. Insurance for shipping, like if someone were to get a candle and it broke, how would you handle that situation? Returns, even just a website. I don't think a lot of people understand like the legal side of it. You have to have terms and conditions and all that stuff on your website to even get approved for a bank to sponsor your website through them. So I had to go through all that process. I did not have an attorney, but I honestly feel like you should have a small attorney with business to kind of help you through that legal stuff. The trademark was definitely a process. Again, there's so many terms that if you don't know what you're doing, you're just gonna waste money, and the legal stuff is a lot, because you don't want that to fall back on you, because you are now being responsible for other people pretty much, because they're buying something from you. So, and then business insurance, so you cover yourself too, so nobody can come after you. So again, I think that is the biggest hurdle right now, is just having everything legal and protected and secured on all ends of a business.
I can definitely see that. And I've definitely gone through that. It definitely shocked me how many non-profitable activities you have to do, because it's not as simple as getting candles, selling the candle.
No.
There's so much more that goes into it, whether it's building the website, making sure you're legally compliant, getting your LLC formed. There are so many activities that just take up a lot of time, that you think you can, okay, I'll just do this today and I'm done. But it's not always a one-day process. And as you get bigger and expand, you have to keep in mind some things to scale. For me, lately my challenge has been payroll and maybe HR benefits that I'm looking into. These are all things that when you first start, you're like, I just want to make money. But then you realize you're responsible for other people, and you have to take all this extra precaution and do things by the book. So that definitely becomes a challenge. What challenges do you think you're going to run into as you scale?
Not letting people change your perspective too much. There is good criticism, but there's a healthy balance. Like, as any business owner, you know why you do things. So sometimes you'll get feedback, and it's kind of hard to overcome the objections, because I feel like as a business owner, like, you want to please people. But let's say they're like, oh, well, like, can I have a coupon? Can I have a discount? Can I have this? And I'm like, no. So it's like, I want to help you, but like, I also know like my product, so like I feel like it's not cheap like that. So I think that's like a little bit of a conflict, like, because as a business owner, like, you start off because you want people to buy your stuff, and you have a lot of care for the customers, but I think sometimes they try and like haggle you, and that's where you just want to stand your ground. So I guess that's like an objection kind of that happens.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the most frequent objections you're going to get is price, and knowing the value that you bring and not dropping the price is so hard for people who are just starting up.
Yeah.
But as you get more comfortable and get more exposure to customers, you know that you can just say no, and they're either going to take it or they're not.
Oh yeah. I feel like you should not drop your prices ever, like especially when you have good prices, and I think it's more confident that way.
Liberty City Living team, if you're watching this, I hope you heard her, and that's why I say every time someone wants our penthouse suite for less money than it's advertised for, no, not happening.
Nah, not today.
It's amazing. You're paying for it. That's what it is.
You have to constantly sell your item.
Exactly. And with scaling, the other thing, so dealing with input and trying to figure out what you should be doing gets a lot harder with how to run every aspect of your business, because when you first start, it's easy to kind of research things and figure out what you should be doing to get started. But as you grow, whose opinion do you take value from? Because you're not going to take your opinions from your friends who don't run businesses. Where do you go to for advice at this point?
At this point, you want to go to the people that are buying your product. I'm not going to take advice from maybe like 1% that are saying it should be this way. I'm going to take advice from the 97% that are buying my product. Like if one person is saying, oh, I don't like the prices, no offense, but I'm not really going to focus on that. If like the people that are buying my stuff and it's a high percentage that are saying like your prices are too high, that is more my focus is going to go to is those clientele. So.
Oh yeah, definitely important to watch customer reviews.
I'm going to change things for one person.
You can't.
Sorry.
You have to look at your customer reviews as a whole and see what's coming back and take that feedback. But you do whatever you want with it once you get it back.
Yeah. But I feel like at the end of the day, I do make the final decision. I feel like because again, I think you're your biggest like own worst critic, and sometimes you cannot change it because it goes back to the cost that you put into it. So like even this label, doesn't matter how much I want to change this, I can't afford to change this. Like this is the label that financially works for me, and if I budget it even more, like there's some changes that you can't even change because you're not going to make a profit then.
Right, and once you find that niche in the pricing of where you have to be and how you assemble your product, then you can just move forward and focus on the rest. I think a lot of business owners will take too much time to focus on the little things and don't do enough of the making money activities. So to lose sleep over the label that already looks good is irrelevant, and you need to just push the product now.
Only
trying to get it in the frame.
It should be there.
Love it. But scaling is definitely an interesting tactic and something you have to focus on, and how you're going to get there and who you seek advice from is big. I don't listen to anyone who is not bigger than me.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, and it's even then the people who are bigger than me, if they say not to do something some way, I think about it, and then I think, are they thinking as big as I am? Because I am always looking at the super long term and how to get to the next level, and if the way that they're structuring doesn't match with that next level, then I ignore what they say and I do what I want to do anyway.
Yeah, you have to make that final say. You got to be open, but like don't let people feel like they can like change your product. You don't want to be easily like swayed.
And I think it goes back to your vision, and you need to keep that in mind. No one understands your business and your product like you do, or where you're trying to take it. So you should ask the people who you think may see it the same way and can think that large. But at the end of the day, no one's going to see it as large as you are. So keeping that in mind and doing what you want to do, not what they want you to do, is super important.
Yeah. You gotta be like boss mindset. Gotta have your standards, I guess.
Exactly. It's all about standards. That's what it comes down to.
Yep.
I think we covered a lot here today. Is there anything else you wanted to cover?
I think if anyone out there is struggling with like wanting to start their own business but they're not sure how, you're gonna have to be patient with it. Do not rush into a product because you are gonna waste a lot of money. I think don't quit your 9 to 5 job. I think that obviously the goal is to get out of the 9 to 5 job. I know you're like, get out of that.
Yes. Yeah, I can't wait to respond here.
You want to get out of the 9 to 5 job, but you can't start a business without having money coming in. So like I would keep your day job until you are able to quit it. Like you have to have income coming in to be able to invest into something else. So I would say keep your job, but find a job that's flexible so you can do your thing on the side. And then when it's extremely profitable, then quit your day job.
Yeah, I think you nailed it there, actually.
Yeah.
You need cash flow to
Smart.
sustain the business. And everything that you make when you first start should be recycled right back in.
Oh, yeah.
If you can take money from a third-party source, whether it's your 9 to 5 or any flexible job you have, the one thing I would say to be careful of is don't let your 9 to 5 just sway your vision, and don't let what you're doing take over your thought process and how you're running your business. Because at a certain point, you're giving up too much to build someone else's dream instead of building your own. And once you start realizing that you'd rather be working on your business or doing this or doing that than whatever your other company that you're working for has you doing, that's when it's time to just cut the cord and go all in on what you're doing. It's the only way that you're going to grow substantially, because they're not going to grow you for you. You have to do it.
You have got to be the one that makes the final decision.
Yes, and I think it's a hard concept to get over, and it's scary to take that leap of faith. But if you're confident in your own business, then it'll get there. If you're not confident in it, then definitely keep your job, because you shouldn't be in business anyway. Yeah,
you gotta be like your own boss. You gotta be motivated, determined, and a little bit crazy.
Definitely a little crazy.
A healthy balance of crazy. Because I feel like, don't they have like a quote like, the most craziest people like change the world or something? There is a quote.
You have to be crazy to change the world. It's part of leadership, is you have to see it differently and ignore the normal standards.
Yeah.
It definitely is what it is. I don't know.
All right. Is that everything?
I think that's everything. If you want to find more about what we do and where we go, I'm going to link in the description here both our YouTube channels and our Instagram @. Mine is @Liberty City Living. Bree's is
Better Life with Bree.
And if you guys get any questions about business and want to ask us, feel free to reach out.
Let us know. We shall help you.
Yes, and let's get some financial freedom going and build some businesses.
Buy some candles. All right, bye guys.